Yo, whether you watching this from Facebook, Twitter, click the link in my Instagram, moviepilot.com, or YouTube itself, what up, world? So, it's the end of the month. Y'all know how I do around the end of the month. I post my movie talk on whatever topic. You read the description. My favorite horror icons. I was gonna go slashers, but one, maybe two or more. It depends on how you classify your serial killers or whatever. A few of these might not be technically slashers. So I went horror icons. You hear the name of the movie, you instantly think, boom, Halloween, Michael Myers, Nightmare on Elm Street, Freddy Krueger, Leprechaun, Saw. You can go Jigsaw or Billy, whatever. The little dog on the tricycle, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Leatherface, whatever. And then yeah, but I'm more of a slasher fan, like the Screams, I Know What You Did Last Summer's, Halloween's, Friday the 13th. And then I would say the home invasion movies have kind of become like the modern day slasher movies with The Purge, The Strangers, You're Next, movies like that. I have You're Next on my eBay watch list. I've never seen it and I want to, so I'll end up grabbing that like after the season's over. Let's just jump right in, man, because my number 10 might not even really be an icon. But my number 10 is Ben Willis, the killer, the fisherman from I Know What You Did Last Summer, and I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. I don't acknowledge I'll always know what you did last summer because Jennifer Love Hewitt isn't in it, and it doesn't count. Straight to DVD, it doesn't count. I got some other characters on here with straight to DVD sequels though. Man, he was human, man. Like what happened last summer happened, and he wanted revenge on the main characters in the first movie, and then the survivors in the second movie. And I really like the realistic aspect. That's what the '90s did. The '90s gave you slashers that were human and that were killable. At number 9, this is probably where a lot of you guys stop watching because of how low this character is. But this is gonna come with huge confessions, man. My number 9 is Leatherface. The only Chainsaw movie I've seen is the remake. I think the '03 remake is super legit. It's violent as hell, and I think it's one of the best horror remakes because it kind of started. I know The Thing is a remake. I know other remakes were made before the Texas Chainsaw, but the modern day horror movie remake kind of started with the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and the dude who plays Leatherface played played Christopher Walken's son in Batman Returns. Fun fact for y'all. But it's got Jessica Biel. The beginning where the chick who escaped Leatherface is like hitchhiking, and she takes like a 6 shooter or whatever, and blows the back of her head out. And at the time it came out, and I think I saw it right before I got hired at the theater I worked at. I saw it at that theater. I might have got in my homeboy got the kid in for free. Yeah, just the cast was solid for the remake. Leatherface was legit scary. They showed like I don't know. I was like 17 at the time, so I was gullible. They showed like footage to make it look like it really happened, but it's probably all doctored for the movie. This is where it really happened in Texas and blah blah blah. But yeah, Leatherface was like really based on like Ed Gein or like John Wayne Gacy or something. And but like I was saying though, out of the modern slew of remakes we've been bombarded with over like the past 10 to 15 years or so, Texas Chainsaw Massacre is one of the best in my opinion. And then, but I never saw Texas Chainsaw the beginning. I never saw the Texas Chainsaw that just recently came out. And they're supposed to come out with another, like the fourth reboot of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I probably won't see that one either. I will eventually get around to seeing the original though, not necessarily 2 or 3 or the Matthew McConaughey, uh, Leatherface, The New Beginning or whatever it's called. I'm not gonna see those. At number 8, I got Leprechaun, and man, Leprechaun got childhood memories for me, man. Cause like, fuck you, Lucky Charms was like the dopest end movie defeat the killer line at the time that I saw it. Um, initiated. Well, I had seen Friends first, but it built upon my crush of Jennifer Aniston. She'll forever be just man. Like the first, like Leprechaun is crazy though. The first movie is good, cheesy as shit, but it's good. With Dollar Store Kevin Bacon and that motherfucker. But then Leprechaun 2, I think is just like randomly he's trying to like get married or some shit. He's trying to like kidnap this chick and marry her or something like that. 3 is in Vegas. No lie, when I saw 4 and it was in space, I thought it was cool. Now, Leprechaun in Space sounds whack as fuck. I don't think I've seen it since the 90s. I have the Leprechaun box set, but I have yet to see either Leprechaun in the Hood movie or the Leprechaun Origins movie that the WWF tried to make with Hornswoggle. I haven't seen those, man. I've seen the first 4, and I love the third one, man. Leprechaun is dope to me, man. I'm not gonna do no impressions. At number 7, I got Jigsaw, because I'm saying Jigsaw because John Kramer, he's the killer. He's in what technically the first 3, and then he's like posthumously in 4 through 7. He's in 4 through 7 in flashbacks, right? If they really come out with Saw 8 or Saw Rebirth or whatever they want to call it next year, I'll rewatch the series before that comes out. Like Billy's not the killer, you know what I'm saying? The little doll on the tricycle is just like the mascot. But Jigsaw is the killer. The James Wan directed first Saw movie is one of the best first entries in a horror series of all time. It's so Cary Elwes and Lee Wanhill. I probably mispronounced his name, butchered it like a motherfucking pun intended. But like, dude was in the middle of that cellar the entire time. That was nuts. Like that threw me for such a loop, man. And it actually has stars in it, man. Like Cary Elwes, man. Everybody knows him. Robin Hood Men in Tights, Liar Liar. Was he in Top Gun? He was in The Princess Bride. Danny Glover was in this movie, man. Monica Potter, Michael Emerson. Like, this had stars. And then, like, the most famous person in the rest of the series, I think, is Megan Good. With no disrespect, but I'm saying 2 really didn't have nobody. OG Bobby Johnson, Frankie G, one of the chicks from Seventh Heaven, and another one who played Charlie Sheen Girl for a little bit on 2.5 Men. Saw, I don't remember who was in Saw 3. The dude from Get Rich or Die Trying, the 50 said, "You could be like me." And then, and the chick from Crash was in 3. And then I think Megan Good and Rita from Dexter was in 4. The dude who voiced one of the cartoon Supermans was in like 6. Just the star power dwindled. Cary Elwes came back from 7 though, but Jigsaw, like, he wanted to teach a lesson, and you could survive, but you was gonna be left with a reminder. You know what I'm saying? Like, the dude who had the bear trap on his head, he had to dig his eye out to get that key, but he just, he couldn't get his eye out, man. I would have died too. I'm a bitch. I was not gonna dig my eye out. And like Danny Glover was never in a trap. Cary Elwes, man, Cary Elwes cut his foot off, survived, but he ain't had no foot. So I'm gonna stop rambling about Jigsaw because there's more iconic characters on the list. At number 6, I got Charles Lee Ray, aka Chucky. He's so low just because of what they did to him, man. I hate stitched face Chucky. Just like I hate Bone Claw Wolverine, I hate stitched face Chucky. I understand that you can't use the plot device to where he looked brand new in every movie because the Good Guy Corporation made a new doll and somehow his soul gets into that doll, or his blood or whatever gets mixed in, because he can't die at the factory every time. So that's why, actually, he got caught on fire in the first movie. They had that doll. I think that first doll ended up back at the factory. And then they made a new doll at the beginning of Child's Play 3 at the factory, because the second one ended at the factory. and then he died. He fucking blew up in at the end of 3, and then Bride of Chucky, he got stitched back together. Didn't he get stabbed or something to end Bride of Chucky? I saw Seed of Chucky once. Seed of Chucky is watchable, but everybody has to admit Seed of Chucky is trash. They tried to make the Child's Play movies too funny. Like I love the first 3. Like, I'll vouch for the first 3 Chucky movies. And then Curse of Chucky isn't bad. I hate that it was straight to DVD, because I want to see everybody else gets a remake or a reboot, man. Why not Chucky? Stop trying to salvage the same character from 1988. Like, Chucky's dope. Chucky's a dope character. And just take away Tiffany, take away his kid. Like, recast Andy. I mean, Brad Dourif got to voice Chucky until he come back, man. That's law. There's no other voice of Chucky. But man, when Andy's mom is fucking with Chucky and she realized he ain't had no batteries in, that's one of the dopest scenes in the series. I don't know why I like Child's Play 3, man. I just do. I hate that they recast Andy. I hate that the dude the dude who Andy's a bitch in army school. But the flight leaders, the officers in charge or whatever, they're over the top douchebags. But I vouch for Child's Play 3. I don't know. I don't give a fuck. But yeah, like there's supposed to be a Revenge of Chucky getting made. Like, we don't need any more of Brad Dourif's daughter. We don't need any more straight to DVD Chucky sequels, man. Like, give Chucky his due, man. Reboot Chucky. At number 5, I got Pennywise. Pennywise has haunted me since I was 4 years old. 4 years old, watching a movie with my cousin. When Georgie died, them teeth came out. Terrified me for years to come. I still get chills. Can't wait for the remake, though. Psyched the remake is coming out in theaters. But, like, Pennywise is Freddy Krueger on crack, man. Because he's everything you're afraid of. Not just all your nightmares. He's everything you're afraid of. He can become anything. He's a clown, man. Like, little kids love clowns. The kids come over, dunzo. That voice, man. Like, Tim Curry killed it with that voice. You know, it's too late. I'm too tired. Another impression I'm not gonna do. If my nose wasn't stuffy and it was like 3 p.m., I give you a solid Pennywise impression, man. But I'm not doing that shit right now. And, like, he could be top 2, he could be top 3, but the second part 2 with the grown-ups is a little subpar. The spider, I'm pretty sure he turns into a spider in the book, but that spider was whack. Everybody admits it. Hey, yeah, part one is why he's so high, because part 1 is legit scary. At number 4, man, my top four are so interchangeable. So, but determining this list, my number 4 is Jason Voorhees. Maybe because he's not in his first movie. It's about him, and it's about his mom killing the camp counselors that let him drown, or killing the camp counselors who, like, the counselors, when he drowned, fucked all the counselors. Every camp counselor at Camp Crystal Lake is responsible for Jason drowning because that's his mom's logic. They was too busy doing the no pants dance and the kid drowned in the lake. The one chick though, popped the head off like a dandelion, bro. That's one of the most iconic scenes in horror history. And then Jason came back in part 2, had the burlap sack on his head, found the hockey mask in the third one. Tommy Jarvis 4 through 6. 6 came out in 86. I was born in 86, so I kind of love 86. And he killed a dude by like throwing his arm off or some shit, and that shit was dope. I think The New Blood might be the best of the series, the best sequel. Cause it was Jason versus Jean Grey, man. That shit was just dope as fuck. For some reason, I really like Jason Takes Manhattan. When the sequels come out when I'm young, I'm gonna like them. I was like 7 or 8 when Jason Goes to Hell came out. Dude, the coroner dude bit the heart. At the time, I was like, okay. And then everybody kept like getting a little Jason demon worm transferred to him. And the best part was when Freddy came and got the mask. I'm sorry. I think there was even a laugh too, right? But the best part of Jason Goes to Hell is when that mask when Freddy pulled the mask down. Jason X uber whack. Even though upgraded Jason was dope. I'm sorry, he just looked dope. The movie was ass, but he looked dope. And then I'll talk about Freddy versus Jason now. For the time, I liked it because they had promised that movie for 11 years. Um, like Monica Keena was fine, Kelly Rowland was fine. It was cheesy and over the top. Freddy was, I don't know, like they still try to inject that Freddy humor into it. Freddy vs. Jason was cool, man. I always wanted a Freddy vs. Jason 2. The director of Bride of Chucky did Freddy vs. Jason. Fun fact. I want to see the rebooted Freddy and Jason go at it, but I think the rights aren't with the same studios anymore. And then the remake, man, like I don't the Friday the 13th remake is dope to me. I just watched it a couple weeks ago. Jason is huge. He's fast. And it was a combo, like the first three movies in one, because he started off with the burlap sack, found his hockey mask, and the opening credits is where his mom loses her head. Yeah, like the Friday the 13th remake is solid as hell to me too, along with just like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. At number three, I wrote down Michael Myers, but at number three, I'm gonna put Freddy Krueger. Um, because I'll tell y'all why when I get to number two. Um, Freddy Krueger is a beast. I think that's why I have Freddy Krueger at two, because you can't like they was talking about on movie fights, man. You cannot escape your sleep. You can't escape your dreams. You have to fall asleep. So you're gonna run into Freddy. If you're in Elm Street, you're gonna run into Freddy. I like the sequels are solid until Freddy's dead, and that's the only bad sequel in my opinion. Because I watched it a couple weeks ago. As corny as it is, as cheesy as it is, I love Wes Craven's New Nightmare. It was like ahead of its time, man. It was Freddy in the real world. It was a movie within a movie because like it was so vicious. The mom from the Scream TV show played the babysitter who died in the hospital. That scene was dope. The kid like spelled out the stalker letters. She was getting prank calls from Freddy. That glove was so dope. That's my favorite glove in the series. But I love the original opening credits of the original movie because that's when the glove get made and all that shit. Halloween, A Nightmare on Elm Street, Child's Play, Saw. Those are probably the best first movies in a horror series. Scream. The first Freddy movie is so classic. Nancy and Freddy just good versus evil, and she's basically a detective trying to uncover everything that happened with this dude. And then you got Freddy's Revenge, which is cool. I don't think I've seen it in a while. Was The Dream Warriors, The Dream Master, Dream Child, then Freddy's Dead, then New Nightmare, then Freddy vs. Jason. And in 2010, we got another remake that a lot of people hate. I don't hate the A Nightmare on Elm Street remake. I don't really like Rooney Mara and how they made all the characters all gothic and shit. But I mean, she was okay, Nancy. The kids were cool. Her boyfriend, best friend, male partner didn't like get sucked through his bed like Johnny Depp. I wanted a sequel to that. Like I wanted to see a series of that of the remake movies, man, with Jackie Earle Haley, man, because he was a more realistic, less quippy Freddy Krueger, and that's what the series needed. Because now it's like, who now is gonna play Freddy? Who's gonna replace Jackie Earle Haley as Freddy? And you can't bring him back because then everybody just automatically assumes that the new movie will be connected to the one that nobody likes, so nobody will go see it. But Robert Englund is Freddy Krueger, man. Robert Englund is just the shit, man. So at number two, I got Halloween. I got Michael Myers. I literally just saw Halloween at my local theater. Because that movie started the serial killer slasher craze. Um, it's so perfect, man. It doesn't look cheap, but it was made for cheap. And it's like one street, but there are like I noticed so many errors in this movie, man. Like who taught Michael Myers how to drive? Of course. How did he even get out of that fenced-in area? Um, when the final chase happens, how's he get in that house when she stabs him with that sewing needle? How's he get in that house when she's trying to get out of the house where she found all her friends dead in? When did he have time to put that rake up against the door? Because he's hiding in that side room. I guess in the time that she goes upstairs, he could have done it, whatever. But you know, I review movies now, man, so I notice these things. But man, like Michael, my beef with this series is how shitty the masks all got in sequels, and then another remake that I'll vouch for till I'm blue in the face, man. Like I love what John Carpenter did. Just a kid, expressionless, dark eyes. You don't know what pushed him over the edge, but the home dynamic that Rob Zombie gave Michael Myers when he was growing up, you know why he's crazy. His Michael Myers, man, Tyler Mane, man, he was so ferocious, so huge. And that's another one of my favorite horror remakes. One of the worst, not just horror movies, man, one of the worst theater experiences I've ever had is Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, man. That movie is a coaster. That movie, pull, boom, that's Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, man. That movie sucks ass. Like a lot of these killers, man, they're all bulldozers, man. There's no stopping them. Donald Pleasance gave probably the closest thing to an award-worthy performance in a horror movie, man. Aside from Anthony Hopkins as Hannibal Lecter, you know what I'm saying. But he shot. I shot him 6 times, and he got up. That's the only impression I'm gonna do. Yeah, like he got up, man. And then Halloween 2. I love that Halloween 2 goes right into the events later, man. He got the old lady, the butcher knife. Like the first time you see Michael Myers' eyes when like he's like cutting at the throat or whatever, or is it when they're in the hot tub or whatever in the hospital and he's like dunking? Nah, it's early on in the movie. And then like I don't know, man. I don't even want Halloween 3 to exist. The poster for Halloween 4 still creeps me out. And then with the first time I saw Halloween 4, I legit got creeped out, man, because he put his thumb through a dude's forehead. And then number one, I'm going to just go into number one, man, because I get to rambling about these characters too much. My number one is Ghostface. My favorite horror series is Scream. That's the one series I made sure that I was able to watch this month. This month has been so hectic. Work-related bullshit. It was like this world exists. Like it was like like if serial killers really dressed up and went crazy and did this kind of stuff, that would be Scream. Like some high school kids, some spoiled high school kids who don't get their way. Yeah, Billy wasn't getting the ass, and he said he thought that her mom was doing to his whatever, and this is the movie that made horror movies funny, man. Like Matthew Lillard, Jamie Kennedy, like them dudes were funny. It's not my least favorite, but I have a slight dislike for Scream 2 because they killed Randy. He found his way back into 3, and then he's not acknowledged. Well, he's acknowledged, but he don't give you no rules for 4 or reboots or remakes or whatever. The new characters do that. And then Scream, people hate on Scream 3, but I love Scream 3 for the Batman Begins like hook it made around to the first movie. And the killer in Scream 3 was the abandoned child of her mom, and that was always dope to me. And then how 4 tries to piggyback off of the remake craze. Ghostface is dope, man. Like the costume is one look. The mask in every Scream movie is altered in one way or another. Scream was so modern, man. Scream was cool to me, and Scream 2 is probably the best, if not the best horror movie sequel. Like Scream 2 is so legit. And watching the beginning of Scream 3 when when Cotton Weary got it, I was in there like, yo, like anything can happen in this movie. What the fuck is this? So that's my list. Comment who you would put on your list. I'm curious, man, because this is such a broad topic. Are there any that I left out? Because I wrote down, like, when I put the dude from I Know What You Did Last Summer, that was like a fill in because I like got stuck at 9, honestly. But I like the I Know What You Did Last Summer series, so I'm not mad at the pick. I've reviewed Keeping Up with the Joneses, Jack Reacher, The Accountant, Girl on a Train in October. My movie talk for last month was on Tom Hanks. Next month, I'm going to do my 10 favorite Disney movies after I see Moana. Soon, I'm going to review Doctor Strange. I'm going to review Trolls. The week after that, Arrival comes out. And Bleed for This is the week after. That's the Fantastic Beasts weekend. Like I said, man, comment your picks. You don't have to do 10, man. Do 5, do 3, do your just overall favorite one. Like, subscribe, comment. Find me where you find me. If you don't know where to find me, watch the end credits, yo. Peace.